Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your favorite commish. I said favorite. Back by popular demand. The recaps for the league. We'll call it the league because it's kind of changed a little bit, right? We went from a keeper league, which was hard to replace players on a week-to-week, on a year-to-year basis, because we have a little bit of churn going on. So we moved to a PPR redraft thing, which I think is working out so far pretty good. So welcome to week one recap. As I put in the group me, I can't guarantee I'm going to do these every week. I got a lot going on. These are kind of hard to fit in, but I'm going to do my best. And so I want to make sure I recapped one. Tommy was bugging me on group me. So, here we go. We're going to knock one out real quick. Okay. So starting off with the first matchups of the week, we had KL versus, Cesar, or Mr. Woo, Ric Flair. And boy, Ric Flair put the beat down on Kevin. Well, not really. It was kind of close. But Cesar put up a healthy 142. Now, remember, the score's going to be a little bit higher this year. Not only did we add a PPR element to it, point per reception for Isaac, not per carry. But we also added a third receiver, so these are going to be higher scores than last year. But still, 142 was really nice, led by, Alvin Kamara. This dude took Kamara over Zeke. Is he a genius? Is he an idiot genius? I don't know, but so far it's worked out pretty well. That Cowboys offensive line not looking too good. The offense looking kind of vanilla, so we'll see what they do this week. But Kamara put up a whopping 44 points in PPR league, carried this dude's team. He had 18 from old Cam, who's pretty reliable. Devontae Adams threw up 19 against Chicago on Sunday night where, Aaron Rodgers had that scare. But yeah, so good for 142. Kevin, what did Kevin do over here? Kareem Hunt, a little disappointing, 4.9. Not really sure how that offense is going to run through him. It's a lot, Patrick Mahomes was pushing the ball downfield a lot. He was, in a lot of these, on the goal. And there was two on the goal line where he just kind of, I forget what it's called, but it's like a little dump pass, and the receiver's just running by and grabbing it and taking it in. So, kind of vultured Kareem Hunt on a couple goal line carries. Adam Thielen for 17. I think he put up 100. Cooper Kupp back to where he left off last year as Jared Goff's go-to valve, and put up another 17. 124, not bad, but not enough to knock out Cesar. So Kevin goes 0-1. By the way, Kevin clean sweeped in all the leagues. I played him in the other two leagues I'm in him with. Got clean sweep. I don't want to talk about other leagues, but I'm just saying this dude's 0-3 and starting off the year not how he wanted to start. So yeah, I know he's gonna be mad at that comment, but it is what it is. So Cesar goes to 1-0. All right, next up, we got White Tommy, or Maxwell, as he's changed his name legally here. I don't know what Maxwell is, but that's his name now, versus Sergio. Damn, another high-scoring affair. Tommy knocked this dude out. Maxwell knocked this dude out 150 to 126. So we had another high-scoring affair. Starting with Sergio, we had 21 from Brady against the Texans. Man, the rest of his team really didn't do a lot except for the Vikings D. Oh, shit, Julio Jones. I missed him. Julio Jones got targeted, I think, 19 fucking times. That's the most times he's been targeted. I don't think he was targeted that much at all last year in any game. So the offensive coordinator is really making an effort to get him the ball. I think he got 3 red zone looks too, which was rare last year. That dude went the fuck off. He had 180 yards and 10 receptions. So a PPR monster, good for 29 points. And then he had 21 points from the Vikings D, who did really well against San Francisco. Rest of his team, nobody else broke double digits except his kicker, but he did throw up 126. Good to beat some, but not Maxwell. This boy had 29 from Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I think people were sleeping on this year. People were kind of down on him. James Winston being suspended for 3 games. He even got hurt at one point in the game against Tampa, which was an absolute shootout. Ryan Fitzpatrick was just slinging the fucking rock, dude. 4 touchdowns, I think. And Mike Evans went out, didn't look good, looked like he might have broke his arm. Dude comes back in like, I'm not even kidding, like 5 minutes later, 50-yard fucking burner, touchdown. So definitely healthy and alive. Doesn't matter who's throwing him the rock. Mike Evans for 29. David Johnson for 17. That offense is kind of sputtering a little bit. They didn't look too well. They got blown out by Washington. There's not too many offensive weapons. Sam Bradford wasn't looking too good. They really sputtered. So David Johnson probably could have had a bigger game, but they only gave him 9 rushes and a few receptions. So I'm sure he'll pick it back up, but definitely a slow start to the season for them. And then Randall Cobb, he slipped in Randall Cobb in the flex. A lot of people were down on Randall Cobb too this year. He probably got a steal on him. He was the most targeted receiver for Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers check down guy. He got like 10 targets, and I think 7 receptions. And then at the very end of the game, I don't know if you guys caught this, Aaron Rodgers looked like a serious knee injury. He ended up coming back after halftime. Thought it looked like he was done for the season, possibly. Come back after halftime, hobbled, one good leg, and fucking just totally cleaned up the Bears. The game looked over at halftime and just cleaned up the Bears. And at the very end, Randall Cobb, little slant pass, he was in the slot, and Randall Cobb got free and got a blocker downfield near the end zone and cut it back, and it was like a 70-yard touchdown or some shit. So 31 whopping points. Saved Tommy's day, really, that Randall Cobb touchdown, because that was Monday night, and he got the win. So Tommy's 1-0. Sergio is 0-1. Next up is Victor Ramirez, some fresh blood in this bitch. Newbie Vic Ramirez. Oh, you guys are sleeping on my team. I think you're really sleeping on my team. Well, guess what? He wasn't fucking lying. Motherfucker dropped 184, the highest score of this week. I mean, god damn, Johnny, you got blasted. He beat you by 100 fucking points. 100 points, 0.1. So over 100 points, technically, by 0.1. This dude blasted the fuck out of Johnny. So we got 25 from Aaron Rodgers. Looked like he was out, like I said earlier. Came back through 3 touchdowns in the second half, so that helped. Jordan Howard for 15. Antonio Brown for 24, doing what he does. Tyreek Hill. I may have been wrong about you, sir. All these things for regressing. Patrick Mahomes is a new quarterback. Can he be accurate downfield? Is Tyreek the real deal? Tyreek's the fucking real deal. That motherfucker went off for 3 touchdowns, caught a bomb touchdown like he always does, got up to 21 miles per hour and change that day. Goddamn, motherfucker's fast as shit. Caught a little slant, a little screen to the, or maybe it was a wheel route out of the backfield, took that to the house, or maybe it was a slant, whatever the fuck it was. He took it to the house, and I forgot what the other fucking one was. But yeah, 3 touchdowns, good for 44 points, whopping shit. And then Kenny Stills, this dude had like 2 receptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns or some shit. But hey, that's fantasy points. Good for 184. Big first week for Vic, who try to keep it going for next week. As far as Johnny, DJ Moore, 0.3 and a PPR. Jesus Christ. How does that happen? -3 from his Chargers hurt him. Matt Ryan really didn't show out Thursday night for the season opener. That was only 8 points. Christian McCaffrey for 13, Dalvin Cook 13, Jarvis Landry 18. Just kind of a really ho-hum kind of week for him. So 84 points to 184. Vic gets the win. Johnny kind of needs to go back to the drawing boards. And hey, play waivers. You didn't play waivers this week. You need receivers. Play waivers if you're going to win. Don't give up week 1 already, okay? Please, homie. Next up, Louis against Juicy J. Hey, can you change your Zeke thing? You don't even have Zeke, Tommy. Okay, you're not a real Cowboys fan. So, no, I'm just kidding. But you don't have Zeke, bro. Time to change your shit. We had a intense matchup here where both players went over 100 as well. Louis, though, with the LaShawn McCoy pick, didn't like that pick, dog. Didn't like that pick. He scored 104 total. Didn't get the win, unfortunately. So Louis Louis has Jay Ajayi, who started off hot on Thursday night, 2 touchdowns. They only got 3 carries in the first half. Second half, they gave him like 12 or 13 carries, converted 2 for touchdowns. Looked pretty good. Was running hard and making people miss. T.Y. Hilton for 15. Michael Crabtree, who played last night again, who looks like he's on a touchdown spree. Robbie Anderson, 1 target, 1 catch, 1 touchdown. Pretty nice to get that. Okay, but shouldn't be expected going forward. Jordan Reed, 14 points, so good for 104. It's okay score. It's a decent score. But old Juicy J said, "Fuck nah, not on week 1 for me." With TG, Todd Gurley, Joe Mixon, and Rob Gronkowski all having 24 points or more. They combined for about a little over 75 points, so that was a big chunk of his points. Kenny Golladay for 19. Kenny, he's receiver 3. Is he going to move into that receiver 1 role? Let's hope not. And then Marquise Goodwin for goose egg. Dude went out hurt with a deep bone bruise. And I think it's questionable. He also had -4 for the Saints. So -4 and 0 for Marquise Goodwin. Still put up 143. Pretty impressive. Squad looking good there, Tommy. Okay, next up we have Talmadge Thompson against Jaime Jarevalo, who also has a Zeke picture, but he actually has Zeke. So you're good, brah. I'm good with you having that. Fucking James put up 105 to Tal's 165, which I believe was second in the league this week, second to Vic. Jaime had a decent game from Alex Smith, who looked pretty good against the Cardinals. Zeke didn't look. It was that offense as a whole, and the offensive line, they're missing the center. It didn't look like the same dominant offensive line. He did put up 17. I think he got a touchdown in that one, so that helped. Devontae Freeman went out early. He did put up 8 points before that, but he is hurt and is not playing this week. Brandon Cooks had 14 points. He had like 70-something yards or 80-some yards. But, man, if you watch that game, he had 2 big PI calls where if he would have caught those or if Goff would have hit him, he kind of threw behind him. That dude easily could have had 200 yards that game. Corey Davis for 12. And not really much going on his team. So 105. Let's take a look at Tal. So Tal had big game from old James Conner. People with James Conner this year are really loving it, at least to start the year off, while Bell, we still don't know if Bell's reporting to camp. Sorry, Louis. Bad first pick, bro. Should have gone TG on that ass. But James Conner had like 36 touches, which is kind of unsustainable, but a shitload of touches. Put up 35 points. I think he had 2 touchdowns. D-Hop, 15 points. He had a really slow start to the season. I just got to update that Devontae Freeman is, in fact, out for sure. D-Hop had a slow. That whole offense just wasn't humming in the first half. Second half got going, down by a touchdown. Wasn't enough time for that closing drive to tie it up against the Patriots. I think Deshaun Watson just looked a little rusty to start that game off. Michael Thomas, 39 fucking points. That was a shootout. The Saints in Tampa. Man, that division's always got shootouts going on. They were going tit for tat, and Michael Thomas came up with a big game. And then Juju Smith-Schuster, I think he had over 100 yards. It was like 100 and some. It was well over 100. So he's looking like the real deal. So 165 for Tal. Puts Jaime in his place and gets the win. And then lastly, Isaac versus yours truly. Did you think Isaac was going to beat me? Fuck. I never did. Not with that crap ass squad. But this dude actually did put up some fucking points. 134 and got the loss. That kind of hurts, right? He had Russell Wilson for 21. Saquon Barkley was bottled up all day against a stiff Jaguars defense. And you know, it was like he barely had 2 yards per carry, and then it just takes one play. He ripped around, got behind a couple dudes, got some blocks, or he made a nice jump cut at the line, and then got a few blocks on the right side of the field, and he took that one to the house, so that helped. So 22 there. Derrick Henry, I actually had Deion Lewis. He had Derrick Henry, and it looked like Deion Lewis